All right, I am here with Gary Steinberg, and we are going to do Sales 101 for Realtors. Hey, Gary.
Hi, Jennifer. Nice to see you, and thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you could be on. So you are, your team is called the Steinberg Group. You are at Compass Realty in LA, but
At
you,
Compass in Los Angeles, yes.
awesome. So you have a pretty long background in sales. Can you give us some context on why you're giving us tips on sales?
Well, I've sold, like I was saying earlier, I've sold everything from men's clothing to vacuum cleaners and sewing machines and men's skincare products. So I've had a
I didn't even
pretty
know
big.
men use skincare products.
It was actually the first skincare line that was designed especially for men back in the early 80s.
What's the most interesting thing that you've sold?
Oh God, okay. I worked at Bloomingdale's in New York City during the Christmas season, and I stood at the bottom of the escalator selling musical toothbrushes.
That sounds fun. I want one. It was singing Christmas tunes.
Yeah, I mean, you push it against your teeth and it made sounds, and I was yelling just when you thought it was safe to go back in the bathroom. Bloomingdale's has musical toothbrushes.
I love that. That's so fun. Do you still have your toothbrush?
Oh no. That was like 1982.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
So, but even though you've had all these sales jobs and now you're in real estate, um, there are some sales fundamentals and sales basics. Can you share a couple of those with us? Because I find that a lot of people in real estate, they have no sales background. Are you finding that too?
I find that a lot. I listen to a lot of agents talk too much.
Okay.
And what I find is that listening is the number one thing we can do.
Okay.
Listen. And if what I've seen, and I've made the same mistake. Um, the client says something that we relate to,
Right.
so we will start
Talking.
sharing all of our stuff. They're talking about their vacation. Oh well, I went on this vacation, or they're talking about remodeling a house. Oh well, I'm remodeling a house, and then we go on. And I've done this. I've done
Right.
this, and I watch where the client just kind of zones out because they're not interested in us. And this
Right.
is the most important thing that I've learned. They want to talk about themselves.
So
And
what do you do? Like if you want to have, like you want to build that rapport and you want to relate to people, right? But you're saying we don't want to talk too much. So what do you do?
I find that the best thing to do is to listen to them, be genuinely, and
Hmm.
that's the important part, genuinely interested
And
in
what if
what
you're not, Gary? Just walk out, be like, I'm out.
that's where acting comes in.
Oh shit. Okay.
But
So
you know the
act
way
like you give a
the
shit.
the way you can be genuinely interested is to listen
Hmm.
and then repeat back often what they're saying
Yeah.
so
Okay.
that they're getting that you're listening. And at one point, I used to take notes. The worst thing was when I had my iPad and I'm trying to be all techno savvy. I found that it didn't work. And then I would take a little,
Why
then
do
I
you
had a,
think that is?
I think because we're looking at this iPad and we're looking
Yeah.
at this um, technology here, and we're trying to figure out how to do it, and we're focused more on that than we are on them. And having that connection, that eye to
Hmm.
eye connection and listening, and just like you're doing right
Hmm.
now, shaking your head, yes, there needs to be, I hear you, I get you, and repeating back to them
What they're
frequently what they said and not even writing it down because that shows that you really, really heard
Yeah, I
them.
was going to ask you about that. So when you would take notes versus just being engaged in the conversation, was there a difference in how that was received or it was basically the same?
And absolutely, because I find that at the end of a meeting, if I repeat back everything. Okay, so you're looking for a 3 bedroom property. You entertain. You want some really good outdoor space, and you'd like
Hmm.
them to be on different levels.
Hmm.
You'd like some decks. You'd like a view. If I say
Yeah.
all this,
All for $200,000.
right, and
Right.
yeah, but if I repeat it back to them, they've
Mhm.
heard, and I'm not reading my notes, they
Right.
know that I got it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And yeah, you can just feel that from your client when they're
Right.
listening to
Like
them.
they feel that you get it. I
Yes.
understand that. So,
Yeah.
what about, okay, so listening, asking questions versus talking more, keeping notes or repeating back or both, right?
And then
Um,
I absolutely afterwards, I
mhm.
will immediately, when I'm not with them, I will immediately jot them all down so I remember them.
Right. And that's for like a buyer consult too. But on the seller side, you could be like, yeah, so we want to make sure that we're pointing out these in the marketing remarks or when I call the agents or whatever, right? So that they know that you heard the fun, cool details about their specific house.
So I was more referring to buyers just now.
Right.
And with a seller, when there are a lot of details, I do
Yeah.
tend to take notes. I'll
Okay.
have my notes app open on my
Mhm.
phone, and I will jot those things down.
What are your tips for like negotiating the contract, and what type of sales skills are you seeing that's like either missing or could be refined when you're negotiating with other agents?
Well, my number one, I find that talking to other agents, getting a rapport and a trust, and also experience, just being in the community
Hmm.
and being an agent for, I mean, I've been 24 years now. So I know a lot of the key agents,
Hmm.
and it's happened many times where I will get the deal
Right.
because they know me, we've
Yeah.
worked together, there's a trust. I think that's number one is relationships with other agents.
I agree with you. And we have done a couple of real estate fight club episodes on these types of things, right? Like, do you friend agents on social media? Should you call them before a showing? Things like that. So, are you friending them on social media too?
I do.
Okay.
The only time I may delete an agent if they're using their personal page to constantly be promoting properties.
Okay.
I actually don't. I think
And
that should
like
be
no
on.
personal stuff, just only property promotion.
Yeah, and yeah, I find that offensive, to be honest with you, and I don't want my feed clogged up with that. Now, if they're going to put it on their business page, great,
Yeah.
but not on a personal page. Every once in a while, it's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone, or I just won the President's Circle. That's fine, and I'll
Not
congratulate.
like I won the social media award from my grandma's newsletter.
Well, yeah, of what from real estate? I
Yeah.
just
Have you
I
seen that?
just I, I sold another house. Oh yay, congratulations to my buyers and blah blah all of that. When people have just regular jobs, a tech job or whatever, they don't post. I got a paycheck,
Right. Well,
and
that's
that's
true.
that's essentially what it's doing,
But
and
could
what
it
it's.
be better if they were like telling the story about like to your point that makes a lot of sense when you post that it's like hey I got paid, but if they were like oh my gosh I'm so excited for this family, here's their story, blah blah blah, and making them like kind of the hero of it.
If it was an interesting post, it
Yes.
would work, as long as it's not being done constantly. I
Gotcha.
that's I don't.
It's too
Would you
much.
want to see that constantly on your feed
I
all
do
these?
see it maybe, but no I
I
don't want to.
So
I
those are the
don't want
ones you can just hide them. They're still friends, but you hide everything
to.
that they're
Right.
sending, so you're not seeing it anyway.
So we've learned sales tips on negotiations. We've learned sales tips on doing like consultations with buyers and sellers. What is your biggest tip for like generating leads?
Once again, it's all about getting trust. And I personally do best one on one.
Hmm.
Mailers, uh, cold calls, that's not my thing. Knocking on doors, I'm not a fan of. I've done it, I've tried it, I don't
What do
like
you
that.
do?
I, Open houses seem to be where I seem to get leads the
Okay.
best because it gives me a chance to just be in front of them. And at this stage of the game, I'm more referral and repeat
Of
business, which
course.
I'm
Yeah.
very grateful for.
Yeah.
And those are the people, referrals and repeat is the ones that I'm not having to sell myself to.
Hmm.
Um, and it's, but I
Well, and
usually,
that's why you generate leads and that's why you do the cold calling is to build up that business and build up enough people so that you don't have to do it anymore, right? If you don't want to.
yeah,
That makes
generating lead, that's always yeah, I think the best thing that we can do to generate leads is to be an, an advocate for the community, to be
okay.
known in the community, whether you're organizing neighborhood watch, whether you are, I was for a long time the lead on the next door site
Okay.
in my last neighborhood. Actually, I'm the lead now again. And just so your name is seen and just be out there.
How
I
are you flying like your real estate flag on like if you're the lead on the next door app? I mean, you're not like
I
I'm a realtor. Like how do
I
you
don't. I don't. And that's a
Oh,
really, I'm glad you actually said that. And that includes with Neighborhood Watch, or I've done emergency preparedness meetings. I've
okay.
done all that. So, what I find is the thing that works is to be mailing or sending cards out so the neighborhood knows your name. They know you're a realtor. But then when you are organizing
Mhm.
something, nowhere, no name badge, no business cards, nothing that associates
No
uh,
cape or crown,
no
tiara.
cape.
Okay.
Actually, I might try a cape sometime.
Do a cape.
I'm gonna try
Or like
that.
the juicy pants like
I,
along your buttocks you can have
uh,
compass, the Steinberg group
did you just say
compass.
that?
Look, you want to get a
I'm-
notice.
I actually find that people are quite savvy and they know.
Yeah.
And the best thing to do is just be doing something. In the last neighborhood I lived in, I was there for 20 something years. And as I said, I was doing neighborhood watch and next door, all these things. And I would organize these things. And I could hear people talking, oh, he's a realtor. But
Oh,
I'm not saying it. If,
yes, that's
if
the
I was going,
best.
yeah, if I was going to do a garage sale, I'm not going to associate it with me being a realtor. That's my own thing. I think I think people roll their eyes at that, and they know they're just working us. They don't want to feel worked,
Right.
and people are smart. And if we're there to give them information, they will remember you, and they will know. People are pretty savvy.
Right. They are. So, as we wrap up and we're talking about sales 101 for real estate agents, what are you finding is like a missed I don't know how I don't know exactly what I'm trying to ask, but basically, like, what is the most glaring thing that you wish realtors knew that was a sales skill that you're finding like a lot of them do not know?
Oh wow, I'm gonna have to think about that one. A glaring skill.
Where you're like, wow, if we taught sales training, this would stop
Well, I
or
mean, I
would
think
start. I don't know.
it comes right back to the talking too much. I
Okay.
cringe when I'm with an agent that keeps going on,
You're like, shut the
and it makes me crazy.
Yes.
Listen to. I hear it at open houses. There's just a lot of. I like talking too. I
Yeah,
really do like
I
talking.
do too.
Um, our
That's why I have a podcast where people can't talk back. I just talk.
Oh, okay. the the owner of the last company I was with,
Hmm.
uh, he used to say, and this really registered with me, if a listing presentation has taken longer than 45 minutes, you have talked too much.
Yes. Yes. I would even say 30 minutes.
I
100%.
actually walk. Sometimes I walk out of a listing presentation. I look at my watch or my phone, and it's like 46 minutes. I'm
You're
like,
like, oh, yeah, right. Well, the thing is like what I've found. I mean, you've been in real estate a long time. What I've found is the longer you're there, the less likely they are to list with you.
yeah, maybe there's a sense of you're not busy.
Yeah, maybe. I
Running
never thought
from
about
one
that.
appointment to whether or not I am. Yeah, I think that sense of being busy probably looks good to them.
So, if we have agents that are wanting to get sales training, is there any recommendation you have for getting that, or was yours just
I would say read Dale Carnegie's book.
yeah?
Yeah, have you read that one?
Which one?
How to Win Friends
Friends and influence
in
people? Yeah,
yeah.
of
Yeah,
course.
that was written. When was that? Like the 30s or something? It was written a long time
Was it
ago.
the 30s? It was a while ago.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I there are just basic tips on how to sell, and I think that's a really good foundation to start.
Well, and I think like there's a misconception among real estate agents. Oh, we're not salespeople. Maybe there's a negative connotation about that, but we really are. And to me, the beauty of a very good salesperson is we are there to help you get what you want and what you need, right?
We're there to be your
Your
advocate.
advocate.
Your
Yeah.
I sometimes I sign my emails at your service.
Nice.
And I like people think, and I tell my clients this when uh, finding their home for them, if it's a buyer, is just the beginning of our relationship. I
Right.
want them to think of me every time they're looking for a painter or a contractor, if they have, and absolutely, of course, for referrals. But I want them to think of me that I'm there to help them.
Well, we can assume that they don't know as much about homes, selling a house, buying a house that than we do. Like that we know more about that we know more potentially about the neighborhood, but at least the process. So it really is like we are there to help them, and being a good salesperson is just part of that.
It actually helps also me because some of our sales we're fortunate and we do something really big and get a nice giant commission check. And
Hmm.
other times it might be a lease that we're getting $300.
Right.
And I try to look at them all the same
Right.
because they do all even out.
Yeah.
And if somebody calls me, they want to, go rent a property, I'm okay. Well, yeah, I help them, and they are just as important as somebody that wants to buy a $2 million house.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you sharing all your tips with us. If people do have a referral for you in Los Angeles, or they have um, some questions about sales, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
I'll probably email gary.steinberg@compass.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Gary.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for asking me.